name's Sujata and I am so happy you're here today. And I know you're here because you want to know how you can stay healthy over the Diwali period without gaining weight. So welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't as yet, please remember to subscribe, to also like, put any comments, and join me every week where I will be sharing with you recipes or health tips. So today I want to talk about the festive period. So we're going into this period. We want to enjoy ourselves. We want to socialize. But at the same time, I know because you're watching this video, you don't want to end up gaining weight. You don't want to feel sluggish or tired. You don't want to have that really uncomfortable feeling of having, indigestion or feeling bloated, because that's what happens if you end up eating a lot of fried or processed foods or sugary foods, that it just doesn't make you feel good afterwards. So what are you going to do? Let's start with one of my simplest tips, and this is to make sure that at every meal, when you're having lunch or dinner between now and post Diwali, while you're still socializing, every meal that you're always going to be including some vegetables. This is one of the most forgotten food groups, even amongst my vegetarian clients. And all it means is including something at lunch or something at dinner. And it could be a salad, it could be stir-fried, it could be soup, it could be your Indian style vegetables as well, whether it's your bhindi or your gobi or your bangan or any kind of vegetables that you like to have. Make sure you include some vegetables at lunch and dinner. It just means you're getting that nutrition your body needs. And then the second thing I'd like you to do is to make sure you are staying hydrated. Are you getting enough water through the day? Because that's something over the colder months we forget about, don't we? It gets too cold, we don't feel like drinking a lot of water, we end up having more cups of tea or coffee, and we feel tired, and often it might be because we are dehydrated. Even when you're having sugar cravings, it might be a sign that you are dehydrated. So remember, you've got to stay hydrated through the day. Make sure you are drinking sufficient water. And then the third thing is to keep on top of what you're eating. Be aware of what you're eating. And it's easy to let this slide because you're socializing, you're meeting friends and family, maybe you're going out to eat or somebody's coming over to your house to eat, so you just forget about what's really on your plate. So begin to look at your plate and eat mindfully, right? This is an important one because often we're eating without even realizing what we've put into our mouths. So just really look at your plate and enjoy whatever's on it, but eat slowly and really connect with the senses of what you're eating, with your senses, like, the tastes, the textures, the smells, the aromas, enjoy it. Think about where it's come from. Think about how it's making you feel, rather than just taking in a spoonful after another. And then another simple one is to think about the treats you're having. It might be the mithais you're having at this time of year. Are you having too many of them? You don't need to have something at every mealtime. You don't need to have it at lunch and dinner every day. I would recommend that you check on how many sweet treats or fried treats that you're having, and you begin to make healthier swaps when having these. Now, instead of making barfi, what you could do is, or buying barfi as well, what you could do is try healthier homemade recipes. And I've got my chocolate nut and seed bar recipe. Have you tried it? If not, why not? You've got to try this. So many people make it and gift it on to their family and friends. So try the chocolate nut and seed bar recipe. And then another thing that you could make are the coconut delights. Again, so delicious and very, very quick to make. And then you could try the fig energy balls as well. So here are a few recipes that are guilt-free. Now, if you're looking for a lot more recipes, I have got my recipe book with 11 recipes, and in it I am sharing alternatives to many traditional foods. So instead of having your kaju katli, right, which is high in refined sugars, it's got ghee in it, I'm making my cashew barfi, which is made with just natural ingredients, and it is less sweeter as well. So guilt-free, you can enjoy your cashew barfi. I'm also sharing with you recipes for a laddu, a chocolate laddu instead of the traditional one. Again, it's lower in fat, lower in sugar, and gajar halwa. It's cold and we feel like these warming desserts as well. So instead of having, your gajar halwa, which is high in fat and sugar, you're gonna love this one because it tastes as good and it's lower in sugar and fat. And some of you may have those savory cravings. I prefer savory foods in the afternoons. So if you have a savory craving and you feel like chivda, instead of having chivda, which is very fried, have a homemade oats mamra. It has that crunchy, that spicy, taste, and it takes care of your savory cravings. And then if you feel like chaat, you could have my healthy bhel. And if you feel like something warm, like pakoras or aloo tikki, I have got my sweet potato and vegetable tikki. You can try that. So check out my recipe book, and I would love for you to enjoy this festive period without feeling uncomfortable, without feeling sluggish. I want you to have that energy to be present with the loved ones you're with. So just simple things that I've shared today are to include vegetables at your meal times, to make sure you're drinking enough water, to make sure you're eating mindfully, and to have healthier swaps to the normal treats that you're normally making or buying as well. And portions are also something you've got to remember. Don't have very large portions of those foods that you like to have and you never want to substitute. So it might be something like having ras malai or gulab jamun. I love those are my two favorite Indian desserts. But when having them, rather than having 2 gulab jamuns or 2 ras malai, I'll have just one. So you can have these foods, but just think about balance, really. That's what life is all about. It's not about depriving yourself and saying, I'll never have these foods. And then on the other side, it's not about, I'm going to eat as much of these foods and then I'm going to diet after Diwali. I want you to keep that middle ground, right? Where you can enjoy them and find your own balance. So check out my recipe book. And if you have any questions, any comments, send me an email or put it in the comments below. Now, if you would like to get more recipes, if you would like to get my health tips, all you've got to do is subscribe and you'll be notified every week when a new video gets updated onto this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.